Well, we owe the 1976 generation a lot, because the advances that we have made over the last 22 years through the foundation that they've laid, without those struggles of theirs, perhaps we would not be where we are. We have actually opened education, especially to poor people, both at basic level as well as at higher education level. We now have a new government, a democratic government, that is committed to the same things that the students in the Fees Must Fall campaign were asking for, which is a far cry from the brutal apartheid regime where there were very little opportunities for black students. Of course, the Fees Must Fall, all what it was saying is that we need to see faster transformation, we need to see faster expansion of the system, but we have already laid a very big foundation. Overwhelming majority of students at our universities are black and female, by the way, which is very, very important. Since the National Student Financial Aid Scheme was started, it has supported 1.5 million students from poor backgrounds, most of whom come from families that have never had a university or a college graduate before. Government has spent 50 billion rands on that. It's very important that we recognize this, because it does not mean that because we still have got a way to go, then we do not recognize some of the achievements we've made.
Why is it important for the youth of South Africa to come and make their way to Orlando Stadium and to stay tuned into their TVs for those who can't make it here today?
I think it is important for young people to come here, to listen to the president, for instance. And I'm sure the president will be outlining to them where we come from and what we have done and what are the plans going forward, so that our young people can actually grab the opportunities, especially those created by government, with both hands. For example, there are special guests of the presidency here, some of them very high achievers. We would like to see more young people, who are saying, this country, this future is ours. We need to actually build it. And education is one of the most important weapons. And as our late President Mandela said, with which you can change the world. But education also is important because it changes your own economic situation and that of your family, but also contributes to skills development that we need so much in this country.
And do you have a comment or a response to the COSA statement condemning those who wear uniform and go out to parties on days such as these?
We welcome the stance by COSAS, because COSAS is doing what the 1976 generation did, but given the current challenges, that we would also like to add our voice to condemn this behavior of not respecting the school uniform. The 1976 generation struggled for change, but they still respected their school uniform because they saw that they had to struggle and also get education, inadequate as it was at that time. We strongly support COSAS. Let's respect the uniform, and also to call on our young people to avoid and not to do drugs and alcohol.
Thank you very much. That was the Minister of Higher Education, Minister Nzimande, just having a talk with us about how education is central in pushing for youth development. We do know that the 1976 was a movement that saw students being at the focal point of this, and just also saying that students should also respect the uniforms that they are wearing today. We do know, Peter, that earlier on this week, COSAS has come out to speak against some of those who do wear these school uniforms and go to after parties, even saying that they would take actions against these people. We know in the past there's been even older people who've been taken pictures of taverns and drinking places while still in this student uniform. So there the minister just telling us that this uniform should be respected, just like the youth of 1976 respected their school uniform even during that time as they protested. Back to you in studio.